what she didn't tell me on Lifetime, the biggest mistake this movie made, and this is gonna be a spoiler, it was the beginning. The beginning of the movie, they showed the girl's dad handing some powder substance in the baggie, what it looked like throughout the movie. They showed that at the beginning, and I'm just so confused. I'm like, was that not the daddy or not? Because what, was that not him? Because why would they show that at the beginning? Like, they show him handing something that we saw throughout the movie, the white powder substance in a bag. They show him handing that to a woman. And then later on, as you hear the girl's story, the friend's story, you hear that, you know, her mother, something happened to her mother. Well, he pretty much said the mother, I forgot what he said, but he didn't say nothing about no overdose or she unalive herself or she was depressed. I think he said an illness. You know, you got to ask him for details, right? Because, but technically, yeah, it is an illness, technically, I guess. But it's like you trying to say, like, cancer or something like that you trying to say. And, you know, later on, the mother found out that she was depressed, and then she pretty much took something to unalive herself. But that was the detail all along, and you would have knew that was the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why they showed that at the beginning. That kind of ruined the story. I'm like, why would y'all show us the obvious? Like, I was just confused. I'm like, maybe that wasn't him. I kept saying, but I trying to trick myself. I said, maybe that was not him at the beginning, giving somebody something that was just clear to his wife. He, you know, then they was doing a woman voice, but maybe they thought that was trying to allude us, like whoever, the angel of something. I can't remember what the website was, that he was depressed people would be out there, and then he would say, I'll send your package, pretty much, so you can end it. I may help you out. He really thought he was helping you. That's the thing. It's where then he was keeping it at his restaurant or his cafe. I'm like, you was really bold. You ain't even trying to hide this stuff. And then it was all in the crates, and like the little girl, she was like, this look like the stuff right here that I got sent. It's like, what the he really was reckless. And then he had a sight for it. And like I said, he had a sight for it. And he, you know, gave it to a wife because he thought he was helping her, because he felt like he was in there and ending people's suffering. Which, okay, I can understand how you, like, if somebody really, I want to help them, because I think in some countries or some places, it's legal for the hospital. Don't quote me on this. It ain't everywhere. It ain't most places, but in somewhere it's where it's legal for somebody, if they want to unalive themselves, you could do it like at hospital or something. Don't quote me there. I'll look it up after this. But like I said, it's not most places though. Majority of places, no. That's obviously, like, you can't do that. Oh, I can get why you were wondering, but he was doing it to kids. You cannot do that. Like, you shouldn't do it to nobody, but you really shouldn't do it to kids, because their brain not even developed. They're not only no decision in making your brain on kids at that point to do that, because what are you doing? Because if they really wanted to do it, they wouldn't need your help to do it. Like, what the heck? They don't, like, they want to talk to somebody. Clearly, they want to talk it through, because they would have been did it. They don't need you to send them somebody unalive. They said if they could have figured out other ways to do it. There's other pills in the house. There's other ways to unalive yourself if you really want to do it. So clearly, they just wanted somebody to talk to. And instead of sending them to the direction of help, you over here sending them stuff to unalive themselves, because you think in your mental brain that you're helping, which is very weird. They was doing it as a woman's voice. They were doing it as a woman's voice to, like, trick you. But I'm like, why are we assuming that this is the voice? Maybe this is the voice that they hear or think. They think it's a woman, because people assume women are helping people, I guess. And you're talking about angel, like, no. Should have really called that something else, child. Oh, then the doctor, there was clear feeds. And you could tell it was him just based on his eyes. She said, I saw those eyes before, but she didn't mean like I saw him come in the place. She was just like, I saw in his eyes that he was an addict. She didn't. Then he was giving drugs to a minor too. It was a mess. And he was just, they had flagged him before, but I wonder why they didn't question him somehow. Like, if it was already flagged that something was wrong in what he was doing, then why didn't anybody, like, investigate? Like, you flagged it, but y'all didn't follow up somehow. Like, I don't know how that works, but I'm like, okay, you just flagged it, but clearly he's doing something wrong. He's getting all these prescriptions or whatever. And then the girl was selling it. I don't know what the drug was. I know it was a pill that the girl was selling to, you know, her classmates and stuff, and other kids. And at the end, like, she ended up, I guess she was live with them, but I I don't think she did any time. I don't think she did any time. Once she was a drug dealer. Yeah, she was young, but she was a drug dealer, and maybe she was like, oh yeah, she was getting taken advantage of by the doctor dude, which okay, cool, but she was still selling drugs to other kids. I don't even think she did time. I think she did like community service. I think maybe they say she did a little time, maybe, but I know at the end they referenced community service. So I'm like, okay, she just did community service. Okay, interesting. And like I said, she was the one that gave the white powdery substance to the other dude. Yeah, she said, I thought it was cocaine, but you don't know what it is. Didn't you that mean you thought your daddy was doing cocaine? Because she said she got it from the daddy. I missed out. Oh, she must have found it in the maybe she found it in the cafe. I don't know where she found it. Maybe it's in the house. I don't know where it was at. But she said she found it from the daddy. So you thought your daddy was doing cocaine? I'm confused. Where did you think it came from? And then she's like, I thought it was cocaine, but you don't know. And she gave him it, and it unalive him. So yes, you could have thought it was whatever, but you still handed it to him and told him it was this, but it wasn't this. And I get maybe you didn't know what it was, but you still gave it to him. So then she tried to run off. She wasn't even trying to help the dude. Then too, if you're a drug dealer, at least get an EpiPen, whatever you call that thing that you get when people overdose and you shoot them up. At least have that with you if you know you're gonna be selling drugs and be around drugs and stuff. But I don't know. That was just weird to me that she barely didn't do any type of time or anything, really. Just community service for being a drug dealer and unaliving your friend that you handed him some stuff. Then the other dude, the black boy, he wasn't barely in the movie, which is weird to me. I wonder why he wasn't barely in the movie. Like, he was at the beginning with them. Like, I didn't think it wasn't no point for him to be there. He had a line where he told her, like, hey, stay away from her. She's, like, dangerous, which I understand. But that wasn't even really needed either. It's not for the story, really. It wasn't really needed because you could see it. She wanted her friend so bad, but the friend you had wasn't good. And then towards the end, they tried to paint her that she was good. She just, she saw her mother unalive. Then too, why would you know your daughter there or coming home and you know your wife taking it? Why would you let her see that? Like, he really was mentally, he should have took it bad. Because why would you traumatize your daughter like that? One, she's already losing her mother. Two, instead of getting her some help, like, what the heck? You couldn't put her in some institution. You heard your solution was, oh yeah, I'm gonna give her something to unalive herself. But then too, you let your daughter see it. Like, what type of, I cannot. But anywho, I feel like the other, like I said, the black little boy, or with a black boy, teenage boy, I feel like he should have had a bigger role, like with the girl. It should have been like her being conflicted between the two people. And then too, he was hanging with her, but then he wanted the girl from her. But why would you hang with? Because you was walking with her. But whatever. But then the mother was like, mothers always need to go there first, and because the daughter was like, sometime we're about to go to the beach or something, she said. She was like, no. Me and daughter didn't even think to turn her location up. She was like, no, we're gonna go home. She was like, no, I really want to go to the beach. And then she was like, okay. But then when she said, oh, goodbye, mother, like, no red flag for you to be like, she was like, goodbye. Like, it wasn't like, okay, I'll see you later. It was just like, really like, bye, I'm probably not gonna see you again. She just didn't even think anything of it. And then she saw that after her, she said the father, she saw that the other girls, his daughter's clothes were gone, so that's what red flags went out to her. She was like, okay, let me check my daughter's location. And it wasn't at the beach where they said, it was at the cafe or restaurant or whatever. So they went there, and then she got into it with the girl because she thought the girl was the person with the stuff, giving people the stuff. She thought she was an angel, the person giving people the stuff, because he was in the place. So she was like, I ain't going with you. And then the girl was offended because she thought it was her, so she just left by herself. And then the girl took the stuff that was in the containers that was at the restaurant, and the girl was like, it's just salt. She didn't even know what it was. She was like, it's just salt. I mean, what? But then, like I said, if you thought that was salt, then how did you think the other baggie was cocaine? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Like I said, the fact that she didn't do no harm, Cincy. You don't need to be just one villain in a movie. Kid, I think she could have both her parents was cuckoo, so she started really bad. But she could have got better help, but just to be like, oh, she did community service and that was it, and she learned her lesson, it wasn't enough. They should have said she was in counseling and some other stuff. It just wasn't enough for me. But, that doctor was sending me. Then she broke in a doctor card and stole the stuff, and then it was just a lot. He tried to say she was doing something at the meeting, then she exposed him. I mean, it was just a mess. And then they didn't even get in trouble for that. They broke into the doctor's office to try to find some stuff on him. And then the cops just like, I happen to be following you. And then they rushed in and then, got him. But it's like, they were breaking into his office. He had the right to do something. Like, oh, I'm thinking these people are breaking in, so I'm trying to do something. How he did it was weird because he pushed the other dude out and then locked her in there. But he still had the right to, if somebody thinks somebody breaking in, although he broke into her pharmacy or whatever. That was so funny. He had them crazy eyes. He was really on edge. Then he was like, "You stupid little girl," and that girl, because she had got I just called her some of the bads or whatever. Can't remember what happened, but he was like, she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do, and he had got mad. He was just really drugged out. Oh, then too, what was sending me was the cop, the female cop. She was like, her sister, the doctor, pretty much got her sister on drugs, whatever. She had to check her and rehab and do all this stuff and send her away and yeah. And I've been looking at him for a long time, but she always looking at everybody well a long time. The daddy at the cafe, she was like, at a restaurant, she was like, oh, been looking at him. He been thinking it was him. Okay, why you ain't doing nothing? You been thinking it was him, but she wasn't really. Oh, but we didn't have no evidence. Well, we thought the doctor, but we didn't have this. But then why do you keep acting like this? This pharmacy lady is crazy. Every time she's was telling her about the doctor, she made it sound like she was crazy. Then all of a sudden she's like, I really want to get her, man. He did this to my sister and got her addicted and this and that. Ooh, and you've been looking at everybody, but you ain't did nothing. You ain't made no moves. It wouldn't been that hard to get. Like I said, like he had the stuff all out and all open pretty much. So what was you doing? Oh, yeah, we've been thinking it was him. You didn't act like you thought it was him. That's just crazy to me. Well, yeah, we been thinking it was you, so you knew everything, but you didn't do nothing about it. You just letting the doctor sell drugs and have these patients. Then you letting the dude at the cafe just unallow all these kids, ain't saying nothing. It's like, what? You're not even making no moves to do anything. Ooh, but we knew everything got along. We've been looking into them. That was irritating me.